Hello, my name's Johnny Allen. I've been in Savile Row for the last 40 years. I work at Davies and Sons, the oldest independent tailors on the row.
Hello there, my name's Pat Murphy. I also work at Davies and Sons on Savile Row, the oldest independent tailor on the row, started in 1803. If John says 40 years, I'm going to go, I've been there 41.
Gentlemen, it's such an interesting world that you live in, not least of which is when you arrive at an establishment which has been around for that long, are you aware of the tradition that you're walking into?
When I first started, it wasn't with Davies and Son. It was a guy called Alan Bennett who actually ended up being the owner of Davies and Son, who we are now in the process of buying it from. I was aware of Savile Row because my father was a tailor, and he actually worked at a company called Huntsman across the road from us at the time. So I grew up with sewing machines in our flats and bits of basting cottons and that basically all my life. But when I started in Savile Row, it was just a job, eyes down. You just did what you were told to earn a living. But then you started hearing the stories and the reputations of these companies and the glory that they had and the histories. And that then opened your eyes and made you think, wow, you're sort of part of something special.
Yeah, I get that.
To be honest.
And Johnny, what's interesting, when you go in the shop now, and I think this is a relatively new thing.
Oh, yes.
You're surrounded by that history nowadays, aren't you?
Yes, of course. We keep the ledgers, we keep the all the paraphernalia of our past. So you feel that history when you walk into the building. That's the important thing.
There's amazing names. I mean, you look at the ledgers. I mean, we are literally talking. I mean, well, it's royalty and presidents of America and downwards and everybody else, isn't it?
Of course, you're part of history, but it's a living history. We still deal with a lot of the royal family. We've dealt with them in the past generationally. So we have many royal warrants from the crown heads of all of Europe. So Davies and Sons has got an incredible history.
Not least of which as well, you've actually got a mirror, a king's mirror in the change.
Yeah, we do it in the fitting room. In our Davies and Sons since 1803 have only had three premises: Hanover Street, Old Burlington Street, which they went to Hanover Street in 1803, moved to Old Burlington Street in the early mid-70s, 73, 74, then left there 27 years ago to go to Savile Row. But in the old Hanover Street shop, they used to look after King George V, and he had his own personal fitting room in the shop. And when they moved from Hanover Street to Old Burlington Street, they took the mirror with them. And we did the same when we left Old Burlington Street to come to Savile Row. And it's still there in their shop now. It's the mirror that the old king used to look at in judges' uniforms and suits. So, yeah, there's a bit of real history there.
Oh, you're telling me. When you get a client coming in, is there something of a leveller when people come in? Because I guess basically, whoever you are, some gentlemen, you'd be stripping down to your close, nearest and dearest garments, aren't you?
Yes, that's part of it. But it's that joy of coming in and seeing your tailor, the special affinity you have with a tailor. It's what we tend to.
We do develop relationships with our clients, and the longer you know them, it becomes a minuscule friendship that outside the tailoring shop it probably doesn't exist.
Yeah, but you guys look after them, haven't you? Because you're making them look great. Exactly. That's the job, isn't it?
That's our intention.
We hope so.
What's the lines of demarcation? Do you do one part of it? And
yes. Well,
Johnny's a salesman.
Yeah,
he sells the cloths and. Yeah.
Well, as a person, I'm customer facing, so I make them feel at home, understand what they want, and then relay that to Patrick, and hopefully we can produce a wonderful suit for them.
And do you get that info? I guess you do.
Yeah,
probably got a kind of code now.
We say it in front of them. When Johnny says I've got some, and he's shown them the fabric, and I'll say to John, what have we chosen? And he tells me, then I'll sort of know why they want to wear it. They might want a summer weight suit. They might want a suit for a wedding. They might want something just for the boardroom.
Yeah.
And then we both talk to the customer. What do you want out of it? Do you want it to be hard wearing? Do you want it to be very formal, very severe? Do you want to make an impact on people, or do you want it to be a little bit more casual? And then I'd sort of take the measures and cut the pattern. But we asked them at that time, I've got to try and get as much information as possible to help me cut the pattern. That's what they want. But then we have the fitting stage when I stand and look in the mirror with the customer, and it's a two-way conversation. It's not just me dictating what I think should look like. I'm asking him what he wants out of it as well.
Yeah.
And that starts a relationship, and you end up quite friendly with some of them, really. You know, I've been taken out to dinners to their members' clubs. I've been asked out for days to the racing and things like that, you know, with them.
Nice too. Well done.
Yeah.
The other thing which I found strange in finding out about your work is it's not necessary that people turn up at Savile Row to get the Savile Row experience. You guys travel the world to deliver it, don't you?
Yes, of course. That's part and parcel of our business. We need to visit people, whether it's America or Europe, to bring a little bit of Savile Row to them as well. That's it.
A high percentage of our turnover is abroad, 70% of it. Over 50% of that comes from the States. So we go to New York 4 times a year and other various cities in America, but we also go to Paris, Geneva, Zurich, sometimes the Middle East to see people. If they can't get to us, we fly out there.
Quite right.
And see them.
Johnny, your front of house,
Yes.
you know, that's everything that anyone could possibly want is before their very eyes.
Yes.
Are you affected much by, I would say, trends rather than fashions? Does that come into your world much?
Not really, but we have, in terms of fabrics, they change a little bit. The actual characteristics of the fabrics change, but we like to introduce them to very classic English fabrics and high quality fabrics, so they have longevity. Really,
That's an interesting point. Are you part of that kind of heritage trail that Britain is famous for in terms of?
Well, that's we want to be, and I think we are, and that's really important for us to continue that heritage and that line.
We don't, Savile Row is an industry, we don't really get involved fashion-wise because fashion's transient. 9, 10, 12 months, and fashion people want to wear something else. Really, it takes you half that time to make the suit. And if you're spending that much money, we give some people things that are classic. They can wear in 7, 8, 9, 10 years' time and still look good, not in or out of fashion. You know, it's a more permanent. Style is permanent.
Yes.
Style is permanent, it's repetition. Fashion is transient and then it's non-existent.
Gotcha.
So it's a big difference in what we do.
I guess that's probably why you're seeing Sons of Sons.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's generational as well.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that there is no timeline in what you're wearing, so you feel comfortable. Even seeing a suit that's 30 years old, you don't feel anything out of place in it. It has a constant style to it. An appeal, yes, as well.
Now, I'm not going to make you drop names. However, I know, for example, that there is a military dress uniform jacket in the shop that belonged to, well, royalty, King of Pop.
Yes, well.
Yeah.
Well, we like to dress the best dancers, the finest pop stars.
It's actually a remake
Yes.
of a jacket our ex-owner, Alan Bennett, made for Michael Jackson back in 82, 83 for his video for Leave Me Alone.
Yes.
And it's based on a Pistilian jacket that the guys wear at the back of the Queen or King's coaches.
Yes.
And we reproduce the actual original and have it in our shop.
I'm assuming it's not a cheap and cheerful version.
It's very not. It's all handmade. All that gold leaf or gold lace is hand turned in.
Everything's done by hand, so it's a proper product.
And obviously, in front of me here the model of discretion.
Yes.
Because, of course, if we are talking about people coming in and spending quite a lot of money, we're talking about people with quite a lot of money.
Yes.
So I'm going to imagine your client list. Well, I was going to say, tell me some of your clients, and you'll probably have to tell me, I can't tell you any of my clients.
Yeah.
That's true.
But what, living or?
Well, I mean, what kind of people are you seeing coming through the door, even if you can't tell me who?
Predominantly men in industry, banking, lawyers, entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
That's the majority. There are a few artists and
Yes, heads of states, and also pop singers, of course, and in the entertainment industry, of course. Yeah, of course.
And do you find, because kind of go back to the point we said earlier on, once everybody's in there,
Yes.
is everyone the same? Like, you know, they all get treated in the same world.
Hopefully, we treat them the same. Yes.
no, we're quite a relaxed company, really.
Right.
I wouldn't
That's
say- I
so
wouldn't-
old and so traditional. That,
Yeah.
Is that unusual, would you say?
no, it's not. There's a misconception
Yeah.
about Savile Row that it's all hoity-toity and stiff and upper lip. Years ago, that would have represented a high percentage of the clients that came to us. The ex-British military, old establishment, they were like that. But for as long as I've been there, and the time before, it's like, because of my father, I knew people that were there a generation before me, mainly working class people that would meet you and greet you as if you walked into their front room.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's even though these shops have got an imposition a bit of imposing. Once you walk in, you'll be met and greeted by people like myself and Johnny most of the time.
Well, that's an important point as of the last few years, because the opportunity to meet and greet during a global pandemic didn't exist. So that must have been a weird period of time for everybody,
Well,
wasn't it?
we were close to the wind.
Yes.
But like I said, because 70% of our business is from abroad, and for over 2 years, we weren't allowed to travel
No.
or go anywhere. We had to get a couple of government loans to keep us going. We had some fantastic clients that rung up and ordered a fair bit of stuff and paid for it up front,
To keep us going.
just to keep us going,
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
knowing that they weren't going to get this stuff
They
for
need-
3-4 years.
But because they need you there, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah, but they liked us.
Yes, that's the important thing.
So that was good. But we are still recovering from the pandemic.
Sure.
Our turnover is still a fair bit short of what it was pre-COVID, and we had to cut our salaries, all that sort of thing at the time, and we're slowly crawling our way back up the ladder.
But we are getting there, aren't we?
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We came down.
Yeah.
It's teeming down there.
Yeah.
There couldn't have been more expensive clothes and flashier cars
Yeah.
passed when we came to visit the shop.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's a sign, is it?
There's no shortage of the financial quality of the people that want our product. Let's put it that way.
They are returning. That's the important thing.
So you reckon you might knock another couple of 100 years then, fellas?
I hope so.
You two.
Well,
Maybe.
I'm hoping. Now, me and John are going to jump off the cliff together.
Yeah. Holding hands. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm Thelma.
Thank you, boys.
Thank you.